You go forward one. I think you're better.
So for the enteric pathogens, Janet, what are you looking for, the main ones?
So the main ones are the E. coli pathogens, and we have Salmonella, Shigella.
This is immunology. The two areas where we are doing immunology is our oxygen sensors to ensure that if there's any a lot of nitrogen in the room, these things keep an alert. All the fibrous cells are stored as liquid nitrogen. So if you want to keep cells in a viable state, you have to store them as liquid to keep them over at least 3 days.
So yeah, correct. Zimetosha guys. So I'm going to pick an.
My name is Victor Pakesh. I'm from KBC.
My name is Nico Tano from Standard Kitty. And James for that.
I want to say thank you very much for accepting our invitation again to come and witness the launch of a series of studies at Kemri that will lead to the discovery of HIV vaccine by African scientists for Africa based on circulating HIV viruses within the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, this consortium is titled BRILLIANT. BRILLIANT is very short for bringing innovation to clinical and laboratory research to end HIV in Africa through new vaccine technology. This consortium will develop and evaluate HIV vaccine candidates emanating from the African continent. This award, which I'm announcing, of 7 billion, that is 44.6 million US dollars, has been given to Kemri and the Walter Reed Project, clinical research site, and as part of a consortium by USAID. And the plan is that is to advance this African-led development of HIV vaccine candidates in Kericho, which is one of our major sites for clinical research studies. So the amount is 4.56 million, which is approximately $7 billion, 7 billion Kenya shillings, that we have received to be able to advance that. But not only us, I mean, it's a cohort consortium, which is actually involving several consortia in several African countries, and this is Mozambique, Nigeria, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Partners in the consortium will direct HIV vaccine development efforts, and adjuvant. The adjuvant is a catalyst, design, and identify appropriate delivery mechanisms. In addition, they will conduct HIV research, including basic science, preclinical, that's animal studies, and human clinical trials, using novel vaccine formulations across all phases of research, from phase 1 to phase 3. This will be achieved on a foundation of robust community engagement and advocacy, capacity building, and utilization of reference laboratories that will support safety and immunology analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, since 1999, Kemri Kericho, that we are here, has been closely working with the Minister of Health, the county governments, and proactively engaging the local communities in all our research. This community engagement includes community boards, field workers, community health promoters, and healthcare workers, and other stakeholders in collaboration with other partners, such as the Walter Reed Project and Henry Jackson Foundation, among many other partners across the world. In the process, we have cultivated specialized capabilities, and infrastructure dedicated to advancing HIV and other infectious disease vaccine and therapeutic research. Therefore, this award is just a testament of our leadership capabilities and strength in matters vaccine trials in Africa and the world over.
And as you realize, and I think as Professor Songok mentioned, we've been trying to get this vaccine for the last 30 years. And the virus has been beating us every corner. We've beaten it in so many other areas. We have got very good treatment that if you take your medicine when the disease is diagnosed, you will lead a normal, full life like anybody else who doesn't have HIV. It has become that easy. But the problem is, we are only treating 30 million people out of the 40 million in the world that have HIV. The 10 million that are not getting treatment are still, of course, getting sick, and they are also continuing to infect more people. Because when you treat people until the virus is no longer detectable, you cannot transmit. And that is our goal. But for you not to transmit, you have to remember to take your pill every day. And all of us are human beings. We know that even when we give you amoxicillin in the hospital and tell you to take it for 5 days, 3 times a day, you get surprised at the end of 5 days you still have pills in your envelope. So this project has been funded for 5 years. USAID has given us a very strict timeline to get the vaccine in 5 years. And what we are going to do in the first year is build capacity to make sure the laboratories can do all the required testing, do a lot of community engagement, start with the vaccines that have already been manufactured that are based on an African virus. The work I told you we've been doing for 20 years, we've actually been isolating the virus we are finding here and seeing the way the body is responding. And the world, every time, somebody has a saying, every time you fail, that is an opportunity to learn. And there have been 7 efficacy trials that have been done for HIV vaccine, and all of them have failed. They didn't produce the results we wanted. But we learned something because in the process of doing the 7, we actually identify a group of people that were protected by the vaccine, but even though the number was small. And now we are trying to figure out how can we make everybody respond the same way. So that is our challenge. So we shall be using what we call immunogens, which are actually vaccines that have been designed based on the virus circulating in Africa. So the first year we will do that. The second year, we will pick more vaccines that have been developed using the African vaccine. The third year, we will start developing our own vaccines now. We will build capacity, and we will start doing the vaccines that are now developed by African scientists for Africa. And as the Director General mentioned, we are working with a group of other countries across sub-Saharan Africa because we are responsible for about 70% of the HIV in the world. So sub-Saharan Africa is the most impacted. And the treatment we are using is donated money. So that is not sustainable. Sooner or later, the donors get fatigued, and that is why we need a vaccine.